Molly Campbell.
She just
Here.
texted me that she was having a trouble getting in, but I think she
I'm
might.
here.
Oh, there
I'm
she is.
Yep.
All right, and Coleman Eaton.
Here.
Okay. All right. So the first, so I'm gonna, we have a quorum. Oh, Katrina, do I need to do something? Okay. These are our actions and items in the agenda. The approval of the previous agenda. Oh, no. Sorry. The approval of the of our strategic plan.
Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and share. This will stop other screen sharing. Yes, I do want to continue. All right. Let me see. I'm going into the budget development page, spreadsheet, PowerPoint. Let me get to the slide that has what I'm looking for. Oh, Lord, I don't think anybody's going to be able to see that. Can y'all see that? I made it as big as I could. Okay, so for anybody who's watching or anybody who missed the meeting last time, what we're doing today is making sure that we approve the strategic plan before we go ahead and approve the budget that aligns to the strategic plan. We had one missing piece, and that was TBD last time, and that was about the prioritizing students' social and emotional growth. And what I did is just add the strategies to be approved. You should have seen these. We're going to administer the BASC again next year to screen for students who need additional support, implement small group and individual counseling sessions, and dedicate 15-minute protected minutes for morning meeting and second step lessons that focus on social and emotional growth. Okay, so those are the strategies. There are some budget implications that I share in that piece, but I will go ahead and we can just discuss. If anybody has any comments or things that they feel like we need to add or change in terms of the strategies for making sure that our students' social and emotional growth is being prioritized. Does anybody have any comments before you all vote on whether or not you're fine with this going forward as our strategic plan? And as Diane shared last time, it's a living, breathing document, and so it can always change as needed according to our budget or any other needs that arise. Anybody? Feedback, comments, questions?
No.
So do we have to make a motion then to approve this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I move to approve this as our strategic plan.
Okay, so all those in favor say.
No, you got somebody has to second. Somebody has to
I
second.
second. I second
Coleman
it.
Eaton seconds.
All right, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And all those opposed say no. All right.
And any abstentions?
And any abstentions? I'm gonna write that down. All right, so it is approved.
Okay, so this is going to be the strategic plan that we're working with. Okay, now I'm going to move us down to the budget pieces, and I appreciate you all bearing with me. It took me a little bit of time to fill in some of these pieces. I'll go ahead and start from the beginning. Okay, meeting of the GO team. Only members of the GO team can participate in the discussion. These are the norms. Members of the public are present to quietly observe. I don't think we have any members of the public here today. Okay. We're following the agenda, staying on task, and we do invite everybody to contribute and listen to one another. Respect ideas and assume good intentions. All right, so where we left off, that's the process where we talked about that. We reviewed the strategic plan, and now we're talking about the budget choices. Okay, so we talk about our SMART goals. I just took for our 2 top priorities. These are the ones that these SMART goals are the ones. The first one is the one that we developed about proficiency and increasing our proficiency to make sure that students are not just in the developing stage, but proficient or distinguished. And then the other one is about showing overall growth, because we're talking about not just achievement, but growth. And so we've discussed all of that. Then we're going into budget parameters. One of the things that they ask us about is I take this straight from our school strategic plan. We want to make sure that we're building teacher capacity to meet the diverse social, emotional, and academic needs of our students. And the reason why that is one of our main priorities is because we are performing well in achievement, but we need to focus on individual goal setting to make sure the students are being met where they are and given opportunities to be pushed. And then we move into the executive summary. I don't mind just repeating this for those who missed. Our budget currently is $5,677,615, very similar to my personal bank account. Minus $5,677,000. And then we are projected at 655 students, which is a decrease from 36 students. And that's a decrease of 36 students that were projected for last year, not a decrease of the number of students that we currently have. Okay, so this is our school allocation, and we reviewed this the last 2 times about what this means, the student success formula, and how each student earns, the school earns $4,506 per student, and then some of those are weighted. And one of the things that we get a lot of money from weighted wise is the number of students that we serve in our gifted population, which is great because it offsets this concentration of poverty and poverty where we really just don't receive that much funding for that because we're a non-title school. And then additional earnings that we get are our signature programming and for field trips and stipends, and those stipends are for grade level chairpersons and teachers, staff members that do things that are above and beyond their job description. The budget by function shows that with the increase of everything that we have, we end up spending about $8,668 per student with transportation and maintenance and media services, etc. And what that looks like in slice of the pie is that the large majority of our budget is spent on instruction, and that's what we want. That's what we want to focus on because that's why we're here, to instruct our students. In addition to that budget, we are given a CARES budget, and in CARES, what we do is this is money that is given to us based on COVID. It's federal dollars that come to schools, and so we get an additional close to $200,000 for that. And that is, and I'll show you where that's spent as we review the budget for you to vote on. And this is just a overview of certain things that you can buy with CARES. What I don't see on there is people, and that is really where I like to spend our money for people. additional staff members that are trained and specialists to support. All right, so does anybody have any questions about just the budget process before I move on into our particular budget? Don't all speak at once. Okay, nobody has any questions. I'm going to move on.
What's our current enrollment again?
I think today we're at about 634.
It's 655.
655 is for next year. That's our projection, is 655.
Before pandemic, what was it?
Oh, before pandemic, we were at 703. We had hit the 700 mark.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we were. That's when all that conversation about what's going to happen with that Inman building was so important, because we were packed. But then, we had to transfer our 2 special ed regional units to make room for additional classrooms. And so we fit now. We're okay. We're doing great. Okay, so that was the initial budget meeting. And now we're talking about the budget parameters for now. Again, building the teacher capacity to meet the needs of the students, having unique learning opportunities for each student to, and we liken that to the APS 5, where we're talking about personalized learning. Want to make sure that we give students motivation, and also make sure that they have opportunities to get work assigned to them that is truly designed for them. And that's a goal of the whole district. And then prioritizing social and emotional growth, because we have really had some challenges this year, and not just at the elementary school level. I speak to the cluster principals, and there's a lot of, just a lot of angst and anxiety, and there's a lot of disciplinary issues that didn't necessarily exist in the same way before COVID, that we're just trying to work on. That's why the BASC is such a great tool. But I have something I'm going to share that I think that Katrina will be really happy about, because she asked about it the last time. And then making sure that we equitably align our school resources. Like, are we really putting our money where our mouth is? We want to prioritize our needs and work together with the foundation to screen and approve grants, in addition to the general budget. All right, so the next section asks me some specific questions, and I don't know if you all have the chance to review it. But so it's about what kind of implications are these for our budget. So the first thing is the APS 5 focus area is data. And one of our strategic priorities is about using data to inform instruction and having our teachers meet weekly, or daily and weekly with our instructional coaches. So we do pay for those, and that impacts our budget to the tune of $218,857. That is for humanities and a STEM coach. So we do have one of each. And that's what we've had this year too. That's not a change. So this is what something that, because we got some additional funding, and I'm sorry, this is for the reserve. Okay, so currently in our budget, we have a $90,000 reserve. The reserve is designed to deflect costs for if we don't hit our enrollment. So just say we only have 600 kids that come, and we lose the 50 kids, and with those 50 kids comes $4,000 each, right? So that's a $200,000 offset. And so we only have 90 in the reserve. So let's just say we're not 50 kids short. Let's say we're 20 kids short. So we had an $80,000 deficit. Instead of losing a teacher, we'll be able to use our reserve for that. But if we don't lose a teacher or a staff member, one of the things that I would like to do with that money is purchase an hourly counselor, somebody who has experience in counseling. Oftentimes, retired people are looking for jobs to come into schools, and they don't need a full-time situation. And so that would be approximately $45,000. And I haven't made the announcement of all of the staff members that won't be with us next year, but I can tell you that we'll be looking for another counselor. So we're going to be working on really shoring up our counseling program. And so, you know, the cat will be out of the bag very soon. I'll be sharing that kind of stuff. So about our staffing changes. In addition to that, I have enough money to purchase an additional hourly paraprofessional or an hourly teacher. Currently, we have one that comes in to do intervention work. She's excellent, and she is also a former teacher that comes in 20 hours a week to work with small groups of kids, and that will really support personalized learning. So this is in the event we have we don't have to lose anybody, or we don't lose any money, because every time we lose, if we don't hit 655, it's $4,000 per student that we don't hit. So if we continue to keep that $90,000, this is the bulk of what I would like to spend it on. So anybody have any questions about that?
Yeah, I have a question. So what happens when there are late registrations? They don't count as children?
So I believe if Diane, I don't know if Diane knows the exact date, if it's a 10-day or it's a 30-day. Do you know the window at which they determine whether or not you've hit your enrollment, or is it the first FTE?
It has moved around a little bit, but I think for the past 2 years, it's been day 15.
Okay.
So whatever your official enrollment is on day 15 is what they base it on.
Okay.
And then what happens is if you are above, you get that base amount per kid.
Yes.
And if you are below, they take away that base amount per student.
Right. They don't do the weights. Now, I will say this, with the August 1st start date, and I already did the kindergarten meet and greet, I already started hearing that, what happens if we're not ready to start right away? Because I've already planned vacations, because most people think that school starts a little bit later than August 1st. So I will definitely be communicating with the people to come to school on August 1st. Please, we need to account for all of our people.
So if we go over the 655,
We get more money.
money per kid, but not out of the 90K.
No, the district will give you more money. They'll give you $4,000 per other new kids. So just say we go 20 kids over enrollment, we're going to have to hire another teacher. And so that's why they give you that money, so that you can afford to do that. Okay. All right. So that's the leveling reserve.
I'm sorry, Principal Briscoe, just really quickly. The other reason for holding back the leveling reserve is because if you don't meet that enrollment, what has happened in the past is people have put in positions and then enrollment isn't met, and then they have to abolish a position after the beginning of the school year, which means consolidating classes, and it's
terrible for everybody.
Yeah, it's easier to err on the side of we're not going to get everybody, and then if you get everybody an extra, then you have funds to do things with, versus, oh, now I have to figure out how to adjust for those funds.
And
as
we've
you
been
guys
on
have-
both sides of that coin. We've
Yeah, and as you
received
guys have seen
additional
from
money
this-
and we've lost money, but it's a good safety net so that you don't have to lose any positions. Okay, so the next part is about the Title I holdback. We don't have Title I. And then our plan for the CARES allocation. So this year, I shared with you our CARES budget, and what we'll be doing is hiring a teacher, paraprofessional, and hourly support teacher. that is coming from the CARES budget. And it should not say paraprofessionals, it should say one paraprofessional. And so that one paraprofessional is coming from the fact that we're adding a kindergarten class based on our projected enrollment. And so that's going to cost us $188,552 for those positions. And then that's it. The last question is the last slide is questions for the GO team to consider. Are our school's priorities reflected in the budget? Are there new positions and or resources included in the budget to address our major priorities? The only new position we have is a STEM teacher in anticipation of becoming a STEM school. That is not set in stone yet. That's what one of the topics on the CAT advisory, cluster advisory team that we just left this afternoon. And in addition to that, the other possible position is the hourly counselor, somebody who's going to be in support and of students who are having social and emotional problems or concerns or just need a little bit of additional support. That's something that I was speaking with Dr. Bachman. Midtown is also adding, more of like a therapist that's on site to help address the students. It's a lot different in high school, but as we discussed that last week, we want to make sure we're putting our money where our mouth is. As far as supporting the implementation of the priorities beyond the budget, we did talk about how sometimes, even though that we put things in our priorities and they might not cost anything, but it's just a matter of really monitoring and managing the things that we do have in place. And we're not having to make any trade-offs this year, fortunately for us. We're going to continue with all the programs that we have. We still have band and orchestra. We'll still have foreign language for the same grades that we have currently, and we're not losing any positions. In terms of our district and cluster priorities, we can align all of them to one of the APS 5. Our signature program, we are hiring an additional, or shifting a teacher into that role. Each school has to have a dedicated program manager. And so that's what this teacher position will be doing. And then in terms of positions that our school shares with another school, if we have the opportunity to do, well, actually, if I can't find an hourly counselor, I might be able to find a part-time counselor that we could share with another school. We also share a special ed lead teacher with another school. And we also will continue to share our band and orchestra teacher with another school. I just pay her 0.5. And that is the end of that presentation. Does anybody have any questions or want to see something else before we vote on approving the budget? Nobody has any questions? I know we were just here last week.
Don't have any questions. It looks
I
so-
have a quick one. The 4th, 5th grade. Did you mention last time that we're losing one of those classes and you're reallocating that teacher?
Yes. So our projections for this coming year are 99 students in each of the grade levels. So there will be 4 teachers at each of those grade levels. What we will also, so what will happen is we are gaining an EIP teacher at the upper grade to support those students. And we are also adding the STEM person who will be a really good support in, 5th grade is the only grade that is standardized tested in science. And I got the perfect person. Okay, so if we're ready to vote, somebody needs to make a motion.
Just one more question. So EIP we will have for both grade, for
Yep, a
motor.
K2 and a 3-5 band.
Okay, all right. All right, do we have a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve.
All right,
That's Ellie Bookman.
I'll second that motion.
That's Ann Wiedert. Weidert.
Wider, but I don't,
Weidert.
it's either way, it's fine.
all right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right.
I was just saying aye to say how to pronounce it because I'm not a voter, so don't count me.
All those opposed say nay. All abstentions. All right, so the GO team has approved the budget.
Okay, and so I just need to tell you guys, tomorrow I'll be having my final staffing conference at 9:30. And that will, shore up any concerns or issues that we might have. And then in addition to that, they're going to roll over some of this year's funds for me. And so we do have a significant amount of money in the teaching supply line. So that's also really helpful. So I'm not worried about being broke for next year. So it looks like we're doing a good job. And that's it. I guess we need to determine, I know that we'll be voting, the GO team elections will be coming soon. Diane, do you know the date of that? For the elections?
Voting is Monday, April 18th through Wednesday, April 27th. Households will get their unique link in 2 out of 3 ways, either through text message, email, or mailer. And if we have an email address and a phone number on file for the house, then you get those 2. We still have about a quarter of our households without an email address.
Okay.
So
Yep. And we do have, I believe, 3 parents and 2 staff members who have expressed interest. And they will be replacing the people who are rolling off of the GO team, who are Coleman. And anybody else rolling off? I don't think anybody else is rolling off.
Say I'm running.
well,
Dorico's rolling off.
you have 5 seats whose terms are ending on June 30th. So
Whose terms are ending?
I think it's Emily.
Mine
and
might
Coleman.
because I took Miss Nail's place and this would have been her 2nd year.
Oh, okay. So that's 1. Coleman's 2.
so
And I can't remember where I am because there was some
Mr.
back and
Eats,
forth with the community seat.
the seats are Mr. Eaton, Emily, and then Patricia.
Coates on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So Eaton, Coates on,
Derico, Gabbert,
Dorico
and
Gabbert,
Bookman.
and Ellie too?
Mhm.
No. Okay.
Well, but none of them have reached their term limit. So as long as they meet their eligibility and they wish to, they may serve again.
Okay.
So they just have to meet eligibility and declare to run. And according to our heat map, you still need 1 staff member to run, to declare.
Okay. All right.
But you
I
have-
have 2. I need 3.
No, you need 2, but only 1 is declared.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
We're
I'll talk
missing 1.
offline with you about it to figure out
Okay.
who I have to beg, or maybe somebody else will just stay on for me.
Oh, I love you all, but
Okay. Okay, Mr. Rico, that's for you.
okay. Especially as a chair, I try all the time. And all right. So I will adjourn the meeting. Do we need to?
6:50.
It's 6:50.
And do we have a date for our next meeting already on the books?
So we have April 13th for our
Okay.
next one. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Have a good evening, everybody.
Hi, thanks.
Bye.
Good night.